My hands wouldn't stop shaking. I stared at the latte in front of me, watching the foam dissolve into nothing, just like I was about to dissolve everything I'd built with Ryan over the past 3 years. He sat across from me, those kind brown eyes searching my face. Maya, you've been weird for 2 weeks. Just tell me what's going on. I couldn't breathe. The coffee shop felt too small, too warm. This was our place, where we'd had our first date, where he'd told me he loved me, where everything had always felt safe. Ryan, my voice cracked. Whatever it is, we'll figure it out together. He reached for my hand and I almost pulled away. I didn't deserve his touch. Not after what I'd let happen. Sophie's voice echoed in my head from yesterday. Don't tell him. It'll destroy everything. It was 3 seconds, Maya. 3 stupid seconds that meant nothing. But they meant something to me. They meant I'd frozen when Ethan, Ryan's best friend since middle school, had cornered me in the kitchen during Ryan's birthday party 2 weeks ago. They meant I'd stood there for 3 seconds before my brain caught up and I pushed him away. 3 seconds. That's all it took to shatter my world. Ryan, something happened with Ethan. The words tumbled out before I could stop them. He kissed me and I didn't pull away immediately. Ryan's face went pale. His hand jerked away from mine like I'd burned him. The coffee cup slipped from his other hand and shattered on the floor. What did you just say? Ryan's voice was barely a whisper. I'm so sorry. I should have told you right away, but repeat what you just said. His jaw clenched. Word for word. At your birthday party, Ethan kissed me in the kitchen. I froze for a few seconds before I pushed him away. Tears streamed down my face. I know how it sounds, but I swear I didn't want it to happen. A few seconds? His eyes went cold, distant. How many seconds, Maya? Maybe 3. It felt like forever, but 3 seconds is a choice. He stood abruptly, his chair scraping against the floor. Either you wanted it or you didn't. I was confused. He just grabbed me and what exactly happened? Ryan's hands were shaking now too. Tell me everything. I forced myself to look at him. I went to get more ice. Ethan followed me into the kitchen. He said I was too good for you, that you didn't appreciate me. Then he just kissed me. I was shocked. My brain couldn't process what was happening. For 3 seconds. Yes. I hated how it sounded. Then I pushed him away and told him to never do that again. He laughed it off like it was nothing. Why didn't you tell me that night? Ryan's voice rose. Why wait 2 weeks? I was terrified of this exact reaction. I gestured at him. I knew I'd what? Be upset that my girlfriend and my best friend and we didn't do anything. It was him, not me. But you didn't pull away, his voice broke. Not for 3 seconds. A barista approached with a broom, and Ryan held up a hand. We're leaving. Outside, the cold air hit my face. Ryan walked toward his car, and I followed. Ryan, please. I'm telling you because I love you. Because I can't live with this guilt. He spun around. So you told me to make yourself feel better? That's what this is? No. You always say honesty is the most important thing. I thought, I need to talk to Ethan. His voice was steel. I can't even look at you right now. He got in his car and drove away, leaving me standing on the sidewalk watching everything I loved disappear down the street. I called after Ryan, but he didn't stop. My phone buzzed. Sophie, how did it go? He left. He's going to confront Ethan. I could barely get the words out through my sobs. Come to my place. Now. 20 minutes later, I collapsed on Sophie's couch. She wrapped her arms around me while I cried into her shoulder. I told you this would happen, Sophie said softly. But I also know you couldn't have lived with keeping it secret. I've always done the right thing. Always. And the one time I mess up, you didn't mess up. Ethan did. My phone buzzed. A text from Ethan. Why the fuck did you tell him? Are you insane? I stared at the message. He never planned to tell Ryan. He was just going to pretend it never happened. Of course he wasn't going to tell. Ethan's always been selfish. Before I could respond, my phone rang. Ryan's sister Amy, Maya? Her voice was thick with tears. What happened? Ryan just showed up at Ethan's apartment and they're screaming at each other. I can hear them through the phone. Ryan's on the line with our mom. Oh God. Ryan punched him. Maya, he punched Ethan in the face. They've been best friends for 15 years and Ryan just told him to never contact him again. The guilt crashed over me in waves. Where is he now? At our mom's house. He won't answer my calls. Amy's voice softened. What happened? Ethan kissed me. I told Ryan. Jesus, a long pause. He kissed you? Not the other way around? I didn't want it, Amy, but I froze, and Ryan thinks? Ryan thinks in black and white. You know that, she sighed. Let me try to talk to him. After she hung up, another text came through. Claire, Ethan's girlfriend. What did you do to Ethan's face? Everyone's talking about it. I dropped my phone like it had burned me. Work was impossible. I sat at my desk staring at my computer screen, seeing nothing. Every notification made my heart jump. Maybe it was Ryan. Maybe he'd forgiven me, but it never was. Maya. My brother Jake appeared at my desk. Sophie called me. Conference room, now. In the empty conference room, Jake pulled me into a hug. Tell me what happened. I told him everything. When I finished, he sat back and ran his hands through his hair. You know what Mom always said? I whispered. Honesty is the highest virtue. I thought I was doing the right thing. Mom said a lot of things. Jake's voice was gentle. Remember when Sarah cheated on me? I told her I'd forgiven her, but I hadn't. I was honest about my feelings, and it destroyed us faster than the cheating did. Are you saying I shouldn't have told him? I'm saying honesty isn't always black and white. Sometimes it causes more pain than the original mistake. My phone buzzed. Linda, Ryan's mother, asking to meet for coffee. An hour later, I sat across from her in a different coffee shop. Her eyes were cold. You've destroyed my son's life. I'm trying to make things right. By being honest? She laughed bitterly. Ryan is broken because of you. He's questioning everything. His judgment, his friendships, his trust. I never meant to hurt him. Ethan kissed me, and honesty without wisdom is cruelty, Maya. She stood up. You should have thought about that before you confessed. She left before I could respond. 2 weeks. 14 days without hearing Ryan's voice. I counted every single one. You're punishing yourself more than anyone else could, Dr. Chen said during our session. Can you see that? I deserve it. Do you? Or did you make a human mistake and then do the courageous thing by being honest? I didn't have an answer. At night, I replayed those 3 seconds over and over. What if I'd reacted faster? What if I hadn't told Ryan? What if Amy texted me updates? He's working 16-hour days. Won't talk about you. Started seeing a therapist, though. At least I wasn't the only one falling apart. Then Claire called. Can we meet? We sat in a park, awkward and painful. She looked exhausted. I broke up with Ethan, she said. After I found out he kissed you. Claire, I'm so sorry. Don't be. She turned to me. You did me a favor. I talked to some of his friends, other women. You're not the first person he's done this to. He has a pattern. My stomach dropped. What? Inappropriate comments, unwanted touches. He's good at hiding it, but it's there. She smiled sadly. Thank you for being honest. Even though it hurt, it protected me from wasting more time on him. After she left, I sat on that bench for an hour, processing. Maybe my confession hadn't just destroyed things. Maybe it had protected people too. My phone buzzed. Ryan, can we talk? I'm not ready to forgive you, but I need closure. The park was neutral ground. Ryan sat on a bench and I barely recognized him. Dark circles, weight loss, hollow eyes. You look terrible, I said. So do you. We sat in silence for a moment. Then Ryan spoke. I've been tormented by the image of you and Ethan together. Every time I close my eyes, I see it. Ryan, let me finish. His voice was steady. I don't know if I can trust you again, but I've been in therapy, and my therapist asked me something. She asked if I was angrier about what happened or about the fact that you told me. I held my breath, and I realized I'm angry at myself for not seeing who Ethan really was, for being so rigid that you were terrified to tell me the truth. I should have told you immediately. The guilt was eating me alive. Why didn't you? Because I knew you'd leave me, and you did. He looked at me then, really looked at me. When I confronted Ethan, you know what he said? He said I was lucky to have you, that I didn't deserve you. And then I found out he'd been saying that to his friends for months. Making comments about you, about how you were wasted on me. My blood ran cold. What? He objectified you, Maya, to everyone. And I never noticed because he was my best friend. I didn't know. Neither did I. That's what kills me. He rubbed his face. I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest. If you could go back, would you still tell me? I thought about Linda's words, about Jake's story, about the devastation of the past 2 weeks. Then I thought about Claire, about Ethan's pattern, about the truth. Yes, I said. Because you deserve to know the truth, even if it cost me everything. Something shifted in his eyes. Not forgiveness, but understanding. I need more time, he said quietly. But thank you for that answer. Ethan's life unraveled slowly, and I watched from a distance. His photography business suffered as word spread. Women came forward with their own stories, inappropriate advances, uncomfortable comments, boundary violations. Claire's friends blacklisted him. His social circle shrank. Meanwhile, I focused on rebuilding myself. Design work consumed my days. Running consumed my evenings. Therapy consumed my thoughts. You can't control Ryan's forgiveness, Dr. Chen said. Only your own healing. I'm trying. You're succeeding. Look at you, working, exercising, processing. You're not the same person who sat in my office 3 weeks ago. Jake came over twice a week with takeout. Sophie organized a girls' weekend. Amy sent me memes and updates. He mentioned you in therapy today. Not with anger. With sadness. Progress, maybe. One evening, Sophie and I sat on her balcony with wine. You know what I've learned? I said. Karma isn't dramatic. It's not some instant revenge. It's just the slow erosion of someone's world when their true character is revealed. Deep. Sophie clinked her glass against mine. And what have you learned about yourself? That I'm stronger than I thought. That I can forgive myself even if Ryan never does. My phone buzzed. Amy, he's healing, slowly, but he's healing. So was I. 3 months after that confession in the coffee shop, I barely recognized my own life. My design portfolio had expanded with a major client project. My running group had become a source of new friendships. Therapy had become a space for growth instead of just pain. I still thought about Ryan every day, but differently now. Less like grief, more like nostalgia. Then he texted, "Can we meet again?" This time the energy was different. He looked healthier, more grounded. I've been doing a lot of work on myself, Ryan said. In therapy, I learned that my black and white thinking comes from watching my dad cheat on my mom. I made this rigid moral framework to protect myself. I never knew about your dad. I never told you. That's part of the problem. He turned to me. You were honest when you didn't have to be. That took more courage than I gave you credit for. Are you saying you forgive me? I'm saying I understand you. And I'm sorry for making you so afraid to tell me the truth that you waited 2 weeks. He paused. My therapist also helped me see that Ethan's been manipulating me for years. Subtle comments, undermining my confidence, making me feel lucky that he was my friend. You exposing him saved me from more damage. I never meant to destroy your friendship. You didn't destroy it. Ethan did years ago. I just couldn't see it. He smiled sadly. Thank you for helping me see clearly, even though it hurt like hell. So what now? I don't know. We're different people now. Maybe that's not a bad thing. We sat in comfortable silence, 2 people who'd survived devastation and come out scarred but stronger. We started slow. Coffee once a week, no expectations. Just 2 people relearning each other. My therapist said I use control to mask fear, Ryan said during week 3. My therapist said I use guilt to punish myself before others can punish me. I replied, we laughed. It felt good to laugh together. Amy became a constant in my life, separate from Ryan. We met for brunch, went shopping, complained about work. She was my friend now, not just his sister. Then Linda called. Can I take you to lunch? I almost said no, but something made me accept. I owe you an apology, Linda said over salads. I projected my own pain onto you. My ex-husband's affairs. I saw you as him, but you're not. You made a mistake and owned it. That takes character. Thank you for saying that. Ryan's father lied for years. You told the truth immediately. Well, relatively immediately. That matters. Jake's relationship drama resolved too. He'd finally learned to communicate with his partner instead of hiding his feelings. You inspired me, he told me. If you can risk everything for honesty, I can risk a little discomfort for clarity. Sophie hugged me after another therapy session. I'm so proud of you. You chose integrity over comfort. 2 months into our weekly coffees, Ryan suggested we go back to our coffee shop, the one where everything had shattered. I hesitated. Are you sure? I want to see if we can make new memories there. We ordered lattes. This time we drank them. The whole cups. As we finished, Ryan reached across the table and took my hand. I don't know if we can fix what broke, but I want to try. Really try this time. With honesty, with communication, with everything we've learned. I squeezed his hand. Me too. 6 months after my confession, I sat in couples therapy with Ryan. We'd been trying again for 2 months, and it was hard. Harder than before, but better. It's not the fairy tale I thought I had, I told Dr. Martinez, our couples therapist, but it's more real. The fairy tale was built on my illusion of control, Ryan added. This is built on actual trust. Ethan had moved to another city. His friendship with Ryan was over. His pattern of behavior had finally caught up with him. Claire was dating someone new, someone who respected boundaries. She'd texted me, "Thank you for the domino effect." Painful but necessary. My design career had flourished. I'd learned that I could survive devastation and come out stronger. Sophie had been right about one thing. Honesty did destroy everything. But she'd been wrong about another thing. Maybe everything needed to be destroyed to build something real. Do you regret telling him? Dr. Martinez asked during our session. I looked at Ryan, remembering the coffee cup shattering, the 2 weeks of silence, the pain etched on his face. Then I remembered Claire's gratitude, my own growth, the person I'd become through facing consequences. No, I said. I regret what happened, but I don't regret being honest. Ryan squeezed my hand. That's the woman I fell in love with. Later, at home, I wrote in my journal, something Dr. Chen had recommended. I wrote about guilt and growth, about honesty and consequences, about destruction and reconstruction. I told my boyfriend his best friend kissed me and I didn't pull away. Everything fell apart after that. My relationship shattered. His 15-year friendship ended. My peace of mind disappeared. People judged me. I judged myself. But from the ruins, I built something I could be proud of. Not just a relationship, but a version of myself that chose truth over comfort, courage over convenience, growth over guilt. The confession cost me everything. It also gave me everything: self-respect, authentic relationships, and the knowledge that I could survive my worst fear and come out stronger. Sometimes the right choice is the hardest one. Sometimes destruction is the first step toward something real. Sometimes falling apart is how you learn to build yourself back up. And sometimes the truth that destroys everything is the same truth that sets you free.